Happy Tuesday. Normally we do these shows on Mondays, but we were recovering from the weekend, and we're going to talk about the game. I know we've put it off long enough. Not anymore. Something's got to be fixed. Brian Kelly's dodging questions. It's not looking good. Welcome into Valley Vision. I'm Abby Alonso, Joe Mitchell behind the mic over there doing the producing. Joe was actually in Oxford this weekend. What was it like over there? What were the vibes like?
I had a great time, honestly. Also, hold on, before we even talk about the game, anybody that ever tells you Oxford is a top 5 tailgate school is lying.
No, the tailgates are so bougie. It's ridiculous. The chandeliers and shit? No.
Yeah, it is not that.
Bar scene's nice, though.
You
didn't experience it. That's why.
I didn't quite make it that far.
Okay. Fair enough.
But no, the game was a blast. If you like offensive football, it was really fun. If you like defensive football like me, then
you had a terrible time.
No, I had a great time.
Okay, well, we're gonna get into it. We do have a lot. We're gonna talk football because we have to, but we've got baseball, gymnastics, volleyball, soccer, MLB, TKN, all of it on the lineup today. Make sure you hit that sub button. We're growing. We're getting you as much content as we can. We enjoy doing the show, but we need y'all's support to keep it up. Okay, what was your reaction to this one? I know that we went to Houston this weekend to see Brad Wing made his NFL comeback, punting for the Steelers, played the Texans this weekend. Shout out Brad. I guess that's a little bit of Tiger tea. But we went to Houston to document that, and we were sitting watching the game, and I think we were silent for a solid 15 minutes after it ended. It hurt. I know they were mad they lost money, but I was just mad because how does that happen? You score 49 points and you still lose? What?
Yeah.
And I know everybody's having the same reaction right now. This is not, I'm pulling up a stat here that I saw this morning. LSU was 95-1 all time when scoring at least 49 points entering into Saturday's game. We're now 95-2. And the only other loss,
Texas
can you guess which one it was?
No, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. 7-0. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And you can chalk it up to, Ole Miss's pass attack is good. Their O-line isn't that great. So why was there no sack? Why was there no pressure? Why were they able to just do whatever they wanted? Let me backtrack. I do want to give props to the offense. As angry as I am that we lost that game, these numbers are serious. Jayden Daniels, 27 for 36, 414 yards, 4 touchdowns. Logan Diggs, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, Jayden had his own rushing touchdown. Throw that in there. Brian Thomas, 3 touchdowns, 124 yards. Malik Nabers, 102 yards. You can't have those stats and then lose the freaking game. And I know what I'm saying. You've heard all weekend, beginning from as soon as the game ended. And we're harping on it. But, this is concerning.
Yeah, look, it's certainly concerning, but if we didn't feel this way, and we would much rather it be the alternative, right? But if we didn't feel this way today, Ole Miss would still be feeling that way because both teams had a great offensive day. Somebody had to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be us.
Yeah, I hear you. But the idea that you can't go, you certainly shouldn't score 49 and lose. But the idea that you can't, somebody's going to, and USC does it, and it's a thing that happens.
But the difference
it's not acceptable, but it is a thing that happens.
It does happen, but the difference is, had the defense shown up, and there weren't. Let me give y'all the stats real quick. Ole Miss converted 9 of their 16 third downs. The defense missed 34 tackles for 288 yards.
Yeah.
34 tackles for 288 yards. We now have the 130th pass defense in the country. They allowed 177 rushing yards to
Quinton
Judkins, who before this, yes, he was the best rusher in the SEC last year, but before this never really got started, okay? Was battling injuries and like just never really broke through. Hello, welcome back. LSU let it happen. 317 total rushing yards. What? Not a single sack. So yeah, we knew that the secondary was a big question mark coming into this season, and it's shown red flags all over the place through every game. The defensive line. What happened? We literally said on Friday, okay, yeah, we know the secondary might be an issue, but you know, we got to give credit to the D-line. They're good, and they are. Talent's not the question. The question's the coaching. Straight up. You look at the individuals on that defensive line, even some of them in the secondary. The talent's there. And here's my other question. Where the hell was Whit Weeks? Where the hell was Deshaun Womack? Explain. No, truly, do you have, I'm getting fired up. I'm sorry, Joe. Do you have any idea why Whit Weeks was not used in the first half and why Deshaun Womack didn't play a single snap?
Well, Whit Weeks was used in the first half. He came in.
Not nearly as much as he should have been considering how he's been doing.
He didn't start either. He didn't start either half, but he played a decent amount in the second quarter, and then he came in late in the third. But to answer your question, I don't know. I'd said on the Friday show with Bryce and Trey that I thought the difference in this game would be the ability of Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins to play free. And then, granted, we didn't see a lot of Whit. We didn't see any of Deshaun Womack. We didn't see any of JV and Toviano. And at the same time, I'm also, I believe that the coaches who are there every day and know what's going on tend to know more than we do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to necessarily argue with that, but it is a question of concern, and I'm certainly curious as to what's going on in the locker room or on the practice field that we're not seeing those guys.
Let's add more stats up next to me. Against Arkansas, Womack had played 5 snaps, 3 pressures, and a sack, and then you don't see him a single snap. If you're not going to play him, at least make it known, because now you have the whole fan base, people who cover the sport, like watch the games, are confused. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Again, I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm on the outside, but to the public eye, it does not make sense. And if what you're doing is not working, why are we not trying to use different personnel? Why are we not trying to change things up? This is a similar conversation we had about that first game against FSU on why they didn't make the changes in the second half.
Look, you and we went to the player pressers last week, right? Whit Weeks said in that interview that if he didn't get there in spring, right, if he didn't get there in January, he would not be ready to be playing defense right now. That leads me to believe that the defensive scheme is tough. It's hard to learn, and if these young guys aren't ready, then they may be able to go out there and give 100% effort, but they may not be able to do much more than we're seeing right now.
I think that is where the point we're at, where I don't know that you see a quick fix to this. Brian Kelly said it all last week about how they were going back to the fundamentals. They were working on the tackling and the simple things to get right, to make sure that everybody is individually doing their job, not trying to do other people's jobs. But don't hammer that all week and tell me that y'all are working on the fundamentals and you like the progress you've seen and then give that type of performance. There's a communication error here somewhere, because that's not what we were told was going to happen. It wasn't. And moving forward, this is a team that was supposed to be in contention for the SEC West title.
To be fair, still are.
Okay, then I'm going to bring what happens now? Because if it's not a quick fix, Missouri's not a team that you can sleep on. We said that last week. So what happens now?
You're genuine. You're asking me?
No, yeah. I know I'm fired up right now, but this is because I haven't had the chance to vent yet, so this is what y'all are getting. Yeah, no, genuinely. Where do you go from here? How do you fix these issues to hopefully get you back to Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, I think what has to start happening is you see much more rotation. It doesn't seem like there's one group of guys that Matt Hallis or Brian Kelly is really comfortable with defensively, because you didn't see Witt start in either half, but you saw him come in. You didn't see you had so much rotate. Like even Ryan Yates played a decent amount in the second half, so in the secondary. So you have a lot of rotation already happening, and I think that's going to continue to happen. So if you can't put a defense on the field who knows the scheme or can play the scheme at the level at which Matt House wants to be playing it, then you need to have fresh guys in there all game who can go out there and play it 100%. And I think that's the frame of mind moving forward, and rely on your offense to go put up 35, 40 points a game.
Yes. It's unfair to keep putting the offense in that kind of position. Straight up. And Kelly said in the post-game presser, there's no one else coming through the door to fix this. You can't add anybody. It's got to be the guys on the team now. It's got to be figure it out.
Well, and look, because we can take what Week said about needing the time to figure out this scheme and be able to play in Matt House's defense. And we can say that that's all fine and good because he was a freshman and he was a young guy. But when you're playing on a defense that took in 12 transfers, they're all having that same experience. So this might be a defense that is certainly poor right now, but Week 10, Week 11, and again, that will be far too late. But the point is, if we are building our defense through the transfer portal, it's not working with Matt House. But I'm interested to see what his defense will look like down the stretch with guys who are then confident in it. And I think once we get to Week 9, 10, 11, that will be a better depiction at what our defense will look like when built through, high school recruiting as opposed to the transfer portal. And I think that's what Brian Kelly was trying to say in the presser.
That's fair. I don't want to see it in Week 9, 10. I understand, and I do agree with you on that. He literally brought it up about how difficult the scheme is. I get it. And it takes time, and good thing he was here earlier to get it under his belt. But that can't be an excuse. You cannot 34 tackles for 288 yards. Don't look at me and tell me, no.
I'm with you, but what I'm trying to say is I think you and I, as well as everybody, the people who go to the games, they want to see LSU win this year. And Brian Kelly's job is to build a program that wins consistently. And that's much easier to do through recruiting as opposed to transfer portal. Look, they had 30 scholarship players when he got here. I'm not in the business of going out and defending coaches who lose games that, scoring 49 points. That's not necessarily what I'm trying to do, but I am saying there is a different perspective that we can look at this and say, okay, if we have a good defensive scheme, but we can't put guys on the field who are comfortable in it yet, well, I'm interested to see what that scheme looks like when the guys are comfortable. And so I'm not saying that we can go out and, win a national championship this year. That's not the point I'm making. But Week 9, Week 10, Week 11, I think that's a better idea of what you'll look like moving forward. And I'm very interested to see that.
I do want to bring it back to way before the season when we talked about the pressure that Brian Kelly was going to be under with Jay Johnson and Kim Mulkey ringing in national championships. And he said, we're not at that point. This is not that's not where we are on the timeline, is what he said, which I can understand. I respect it for be realistic with where you're at, and you're bringing in a whole bunch of transfers. You're not going to have I think there's something missing, and I can't even put it on the guys. I can't. Yes, maybe work on the fundamentals and go back to the simple things, but that's unacceptable. It is. And whatever the reason may be, when you see it happening, make the changes. You can't just allow it to continue to happen. I don't know what the changes are. Again, I'm not on that coaching staff, but I think it's very fair for people to be pissed about what happened on Saturday.
But at the same time, I agree, but at the same time, whenever you are building a program like this, you want to create a system where you're rewarding success, not punishing failure. And so if there are guys, if somebody screws up, you can't just yank them. You got to leave them in there and let them get comfortable. It's really, really tricky. And again, we give up 55 points. I'm not in the business of, trying to play defense for the defense. But I think there is a couple different avenues we can look at this as opposed to just being doom and gloom.
Okay, well, Joe's making me look bad, so I'm going to move on.
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm trying to do.
I'm pissed about the game,
Yeah.
period. I think I have every right to be pissed off about what I saw on Saturday.
For
Boom,
sure.
done.
For sure.
I don't care what the reason was. I don't care. I don't care. These numbers, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm getting hot right now. No, and you made so many good points, and I agree with you. I'm not going to let it go just yet.
Yeah, I hear you.
They better fix it before this weekend because we're going to be in some real trouble on Monday.
Yeah.
Anyway, baseball's starting up. They actually start fall practice on Thursday. Looking to two-peat over in Omaha. And those scrimmages, they actually have scrimmages Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. They'll be open to the public. So if you want to go check out the team, remember you got a lot of new faces, very talented new faces, but you are absolutely able to go watch those scrimmages. They'll have their exhibition game against UL on November 12th, and then they'll do the Purple and Gold World Series November 17th through the 19th. I think they'll be an exciting team to watch this year again. Jay Johnson put in the work during the off season, made sure to reload, I think, not rebuild, reload. So excited to see that. Shout out to Aleah Finnegan. She has just qualified for the 2024 Paris Olympics. She's set to become the first female gymnast from the Philippines in 6 decades. That's a long time. She's also the first active gymnast in school history to become an Olympian. So doing some crazy things. She just competed this past weekend, reeled in 51.366 points for 32nd place in the 2023 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, but it was enough to give her enough credits to qualify. So she'll have one of those 14 spots at the Olympics. Really cool to see her. She comes from a gymnastics family, and I know she stopped competing elite and switched nationalities from when she was on the American team, decided to give it another go with the Philippines, and she's in. So that'll be one of the LSU athletes we're hoping to see in Paris in 2024. I'll get to the other ones in just a few moments. I do want to also shout out volleyball. We got a lot going on here today. For coming off not one, but 2 big wins this weekend. They beat both Missouri and Mississippi State. Both those games went to 4 sets. So now LSU is 7-6. In the Missouri game on Friday, Journey Robinson, you hear her name all the time, had 12 kills, 3 blocks, and 2 aces. Anita Anwuzie had 8 kills and 6 blocks. Angie Lee had a season-high 8 kills, 5 blocks. And Sine Dotson recorded her 1,000th career kill with her first kill of the night, actually, and finished with 6 kills and a season-high 4 blocks. So shout out for the career stats there, Sine. And then in that Mississippi State game, she also came back with another match-high 14 kills on 22 swings, and Jade Demps had 11 kills and 1 error on 27 swings. So volleyball team doing really well. Opened up SEC play on Friday. They're now 2-0 in SEC, which is awesome. 7-6 on the season. They'll be back in the PMAC tomorrow, I believe, to hopefully keep winning some games. On the other hand, soccer fell off a little bit. Had a pretty tough loss to Florida this past weekend on Sunday. Lost 4-0. I know head coach Hudson was not very happy. She was quite disappointed and said basically that Florida just came out wanting to play more than LSU did. They were just the better team, and that I think soccer has kind of, or the girls kind of, we're still living on the big win from last week rather than focusing on the game this weekend. And she called the team out for it and said, every team in the SEC is capable of winning on any given day. So you have to be locked into the game you're playing at that moment, not worried about the games coming up or the games you've already won, lost, whatever. Be in the moment. So I think they're going to be hammering that message pretty hard. Now we'll round out with some Tiger tea. I did say we were looking for more LSU athletes in the Olympics. It's very possible because TKN, Taryn Cloth, and Kristen Nush just actually went to Paris, competed in Paris, and came in second. So they won silver at the not the World Championships, at their tournament in Paris this past weekend. They did lose to the number 1 team in the world. That's the Brazilian team. They went to 3 sets. It was a hard fight. Lost the last set 15-13, but it was really close. So they'll head to the World Championships in Mexico to hopefully qualify for the Olympics. I know it's a weird system where you have to earn certain numbers of points, but if they win the World Championships in Mexico, that's an automatic qualification. So we really want to see that happen. It'd be super cool to see TKN back in Paris for the 2024 Olympics. We do their media stuff. We got to go to Chicago. That was super cool to see them win the AVP Chicago Open. So we would really like to get over to Paris. Those girls kick butt. They're awesome on the court and off the court, and their journey is pretty well documented between their vlog and the podcast they do with us. So make sure to check them out. They're definitely some characters for sure, and very good at volleyball. And we'll round out with the last little bit of Tiger Tea. MLB postseason starts today, and 5 former LSU Tigers are involved. You got Alex Bregman with the Stros, Kevin Gausman, who's throwing tonight for the Blue Jays, Aaron Nola with the Phillies, Andrew Stevenson with the Twins, and Josh Smith with the Rangers. All in all, 42 former Tigers have been a part of the MLB postseason since 1990, and 13 of them have won championships, including Bregman and Stevenson. So they're chasing rings again. Good luck to those 5 former Tigers. I do want to apologize for getting so riled up earlier today. I didn't get to vent this weekend. We've been so busy. But hey, that's what we love about football. The emotions come out, the passions come out. We're still Tiger fans. We're going to see how they bounce back. And we're going to break that game down on Friday for when they head up to face off with Missouri. That'll be a good one. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all soon.